The wind cut across the empty Wyoming valley like a blade, carrying the sting of a winter that refused to ease its grip, and rancher Colt Dawson stepped out onto his porch, with a lantern swinging from his hand, boots crunching through the snow as he surveyed the silent land. Morning light fought to break through the clouds when he froze at the sight. Before him, a little girl standing against the logs of his cabin, trembling, her red dress dusted with snow, cheeks flushed from the cold, messy blonde curls stuck to her wet face, and tiny hands clutching a ragged doll that looked almost as lost as she did. Colt lowered the lantern's warm light toward her, softening his voice. "Sweetheart," he asked gently, "what are you doing out here alone?" Her blue eyes lifted, glassy and exhausted, and her voice cracked as she whispered words that punched straight into his chest. "Sir, my mom didn't come home last night." Colt removed his hat, knelt slowly so she wouldn't flinch, and wrapped his coat around her small shoulders as she swayed from the cold. "How long have you been out here?" he asked, but she only shook her head weakly. "I thought someone would help." Colt picked her up, feeling her trembling seep into his bones. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lily," she whispered. She pointed toward the dark pines beyond the field, saying her mother had gone for firewood and never returned. Colt felt dread tightening his chest because the woods in winter were unforgiving. He followed Lily's direction, lantern in one hand, the child held close in the other, moving past the porch and into the biting wind. "She said something was in the woods last night," Lily murmured. "Someone." The unease tightening inside Colt sharpened. In the forest's shadow he spotted partial tracks, small footprints of a woman, hurried mixed with larger ones. Someone had been following her. Colt's jaw clenched as he followed the trail deeper into the trees, the snow muting every sound until the world felt hollow and still. A torn piece of a shawl matching Lily's dress lay half buried beneath frost. "Hold tight," he whispered to the girl. He knew now Lily's mother didn't disappear, she was taken. As Colt pushed deeper into the woods, the trees closed like a narrowing tunnel, and a faint cry cracked through the icy silence, so thin he wondered if he imagined it. Lily's head jerked up. "Mama!" she cried. Colt sprinted toward the sound, leaping over fallen branches, boots sliding on ice, heart pounding with a fierce desperation he hadn't felt in years. The cry grew louder, and then he saw them in a small clearing near a frozen pond. An unkempt, wild-eyed man dragging a woman by her wrists, her dress torn, face bruised, her body too weak to resist. She lifted her head and met Colt's eyes with a flicker of hope just before the kidnapper jerked her hair. "Get back!" the man snarled, raising a rusted knife. "She's mine. She stole food from my trap. She owes me." Colt stepped forward, shielding Lily behind his arm. "She's got a child," he warned. "A little girl freezing out there, scared out of her mind." The man barked a laugh. "Means nothing to me." He pulled the woman tighter. Lily whimpered, "Mama." And that sound, small, broken, terrified, ignited something primal inside Colt. He set Lily behind a tree and stepped forward. "Let her go," he said with a voice cold as steel. "Now." The man lunged. Colt shoved Lily aside and met the attacker head-on. The knife slashed the air, but Colt dodged, slamming his arm against the man's wrist and sending the blade skidding across the ice. They fell to the snow, grappling, the world spinning in a blur of fists, frost, and fury. Colt fought with the raw power of a man who'd lost too much. Already, he would not watch. Another family break in front of him. A final blow knocked the man unconscious. Colt scrambled to Lily's mother, cutting the ropes with the knife. She collapsed into his arms, whispering, "Please, my daughter." As if pulled by a string, Lily rushed forward, crying, "Mama!" and fell into her mother's embrace. The woman held her daughter with all the strength she had left, trembling with relief and shock. Colt looked away briefly, giving them the moment they desperately needed. When he finally turned back, the woman reached for his hand. "Thank you," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. Colt tipped his hat. "Let's get you both home." Lifting the lantern again, he guided them out of the woods, the storm softening as if the sky itself breathed out in relief. As they reached the open field again, Lily's small hand slipped into Colt's, trusting and warm despite everything she'd endured. And somewhere deep inside, Colt realized fate hadn't brought this child and her mother to his porch just so he could save them. It brought them so they could fill a part of him he'd long believed was gone, the part that still believed in protecting and caring and being needed. As he led them back toward the warm glow of his cabin, the snow falling gently around them like a promise of better days, Colt Dawson knew this wasn't the end of their story. This was just the beginning. Dear viewers, if this emotional and powerful story touched your heart, if it kept you connected, if these characters made you feel something real, then don't forget to like the video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more heart-touching, thrilling cinematic stories like this, stories of courage, mystery, and humanity. Subscribe now so you never miss the next adventure.